Hello, this is Auke de Boer. I'm living in Finland here. I'm doing my first homebrew video. I'm planning to make a ginger beer with ginger, fresh ginger. And what we need for this is 2 kilos of table sugar, a beer kit, normal ale, comes with dry yeast. And I'm going to invert the sugar with some citric acid. So you can also use lemon juice, about 1 lemon per kilo. And you're gonna boil it. This way the sugar splits into fructose and dextrose. And I'm gonna use a little bit dry malt extract for a better head on the end result. I'm already disinfecting my equipment. I show you around first all you need, and then all the ingredients, and then all the equipment. Okay, here we are once more. Run through all the ingredients. Of course, fresh ginger. This is about 150 grams for €1. 2 kilos of table sugar, well, you know the price. This is some yeast food. I use a little bit, you don't have to use it. And this is the citric acid that I use to split the sugar, to invert the sugar into dextrose and fructose. This is the beer kit from Finlandia. It's a traditional beer kit made in Finland, and it comes with a bag of dry yeast. And this is malt extract powder, spray dried amber. So this is what I'm going to use to make a nice fresh ginger beer for the summer. About an hour ago I put some chloric, some bleach in my fermenting bucket, and I put in all the equipment I'm gonna use, the spoon, the brush and the airlock, and the tip of the airlock is in here, and I clean everything and sanitize everything so it's ready to use. Okay, first I slice up the ginger in thin pieces, just with the cook's knife. And I'm going to use this soon in the last bit of the inverting sugar process. So I'll show you soon how that's going to work. I just put up 2 liters of water to boil. After that I'm going to throw in the table sugar, and after that, when it's boiling, I'm going to add 2 or 3 teaspoons of the citric acid to split it up. Why do I invert my sugar? Well, to my opinion, the yeast handles it better. You get a easier fermentation, plus all the sugars get fermented. So to my opinion, inverting the sugar is always a good idea. Okay, the water is nice and hot. I put already 1 kilo sugar in there, and I'm gonna add the other kilo. Okay, once the sugar water came to a boil, I'm going to add the citric acid to split it into dextrose and fructose. Let's see what happens. No huge reaction, but something is happening. and let it boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, now I like to work efficient. At the same time the sugar is splitting up, inverting. I'm also preparing a jar for to start up my yeast. So I'm gonna disinfect this jar with some boiling water, and that's as simple as that. It's already clean, and I flush it with boiling water to sanitize it. And now I'm gonna weigh about 100 grams of dry malt extract, hopefully about 100 grams, a little more or less, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna add cold water to this and mix it. After that I'm gonna boil it. Okay, this is my malt extract powder in the water. At the same time I have the inverted sugar almost ready, still boiling a little bit. I'm gonna add now, after 10-15 minutes, the ginger, the fresh ginger, to make some sort of a tea out of it. Okay, the malt extract powder is slowly boiling. I have added my ginger to the sugar water, to the inverted sugar. And this is boiling a little bit. I leave it for 15 minutes. I already put the power off, but I use the heat to get a nice tea from this. And then we are up to step number 2. Okay, I'm going to make a yeast starter. I have sanitized my thermometer, and I'm going to use some of the inverted sugar and malt solution to make the yeast starter. Just a spoon of this. And I'm using a little bit of yeast food to give it a kickstart. Just a little bit. Be careful with inverted sugar. This is really extremely hot. Two spoons of that. Lid on it. And add cold water. And then I'm gonna check the temperature if it's suitable. I have about this amount. If it's suitable for the yeast. Can't stand boiling water, of course. So I'm gonna check. This is about 33 Celsius. I'm gonna add a little bit cold water still. And then I'm gonna sprinkle the yeast on top of it. Yeah, this is about 25, which is perfect. Okay, I put the dry yeast in the jar, and I let it come awake for about an hour or so. You don't have to do this. You can just add your yeast in your fermenting bucket, but I prefer to start it up before adding it. This way you have a bigger amount of yeast cells, because they are multiplying very rapidly in the beginning. Okay, as you can see, the yeast woke up. You can have a peek. It's nicely multiplying and making a nice yeast colony for the beer soon. Now it's time to put the beer kit in hot water. I have it lying in a pan and I'm boiling some water with the water boiler I got from some friends from Holland. I'm just gonna pour the boiling water on top of the beer kit and it will make the thick wort which is inside more liquid. So this is boiling. I'm gonna just pour it over into the pan with the can of wort. Add some hot water on the top and let it sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna prepare my fermenting vessel. There is the chloric, the bleach solution I used, and throw it in the toilet. And then I flush it off with a lot of water. Make sure there's no bleach left in the vessel. It will kill the yeast. Now the bucket is clean and has no bleach in it anymore. I'm gonna add cold water to it with the shower head to get a lot of oxygen in the water. I've added about 5 liters. I'm gonna pour in the wort and the inverted sugar in here. Okay, the malt extract, it's rather easy. I just pour it in. There's something on the bottom. Get it all in. Maybe flush even a little bit. Then I'm gonna need to filter out the ginger parts that I put in. This just doesn't fit, but try to make this work anyway. There you go. Okay, again I use my water boiler. I'm gonna get the beer kit out of the hot water. Hopefully it's ready to pour in. It sounds pretty liquid. It's a little bit pressure on it. It's a good sign. It's hot enough. I'm boiling water to rinse out the can at the end. I'll show you soon. You want to have as much of this wort in your beer as possible, of course. This I'm pouring in the bucket with it. As you can see, maybe still quite a lot inside. I'm gonna flush it out now with some boiling water. Okay, this gets pretty hot. Now it's rather clean, to my opinion. Okay, now comes an important part. I use the shower head again with cold water and measure the temperature at the same time to get to about 25 degrees Celsius. First add a little bit, then I start measuring. I'm planning to make about 19 liters, so I'm gonna add up until 19. I'm gonna start stirring soon and measure. Still over 30, so I'm gonna add more cold water. Start again. Now it's about 24. So I'm not gonna add so cold water, just medium warm, hand warm. About 1 more liter to go. I'm gonna get the yeast. And took the yeast, just gonna pour it in, just like that. Flush out the pot. Lid. Medium hot water. And I'm stirring it through it so it gets nicely spread. Now I can add up until my 19 liters. That's it. I'm gonna close it and put it in a quiet place. Okay, the rest is quite simple. I have the lid. I put in the rubber to close the airlock. Make sure you rinsed off the lid as well. There's no bleach can drop into your beer. Close it nice and tight everywhere. Then I fill the airlock with some cold water. Put the cap on. Then now it will take about 6-8 hours before the process of fermentation starts, and after about 6 days I think I can transfer this beer to a next bucket to have an after fermentation.